Hi Derek, thank you for joining our interview series. So we know that you actually scaled up your family business by modernizing, diversifying, and enterprising your company so that it became a market leader in the lighting industry. Can you tell us more about what you actually did so that it became so successful in the last 5 years?
Sure. First of all, thank you for having me. Our family business started around 20 years ago. It was actually founded by my uncle. We started from a very small retail business. What it means is my uncle started a small lighting shop in one of these decoration streets in Hong Kong, so Lockhart Road, Shanghai Street, where there are lots of shops selling different decorative materials for home renovation and commercial renovation and so on. So we started from one small lighting shop. Around 10 years after, which is when I came back from the UK to help him, we started diversifying from just solely doing retail business into more projects and distribution. So that was our first step. So there were kind of 3 steps, as it were, and it takes over 10 years of time and many different ups and downs and so on, but I would simplify it into 3 different steps. So first of all, it was product first. We looked at products. So we started from a retail background. So retail background means your customers being residential customers. So our product were limited to residential customers. So we needed to look at diversifying our product range so that we could be selling into distribution and also project channels. So instead of just having residential lighting items, we needed some more commercial lighting items and also accessories like light switches and also later on smart lighting system and so on. So products was one of the main key area that we looked at. We first went to different light fairs, for example in Europe, in sometimes in Milan, sometimes in Frankfurt. We imported a lot of different lighting brands. For example, 10 years ago, we were an exclusive distributor for Philips home lighting. So we used these brands to kind of enter the market or to win the market. And then once we have our products ready, and again, it took a few years of development time, and we started with one brand and we ended up with more than 15 different brands now coexisting. And we looked at different brands carefully, so each brand doesn't fight with each other and doesn't conflict with each other. So for example, one brand might be very specific in outdoor lighting, another brand might be very specialized in crystal chandeliers, and then another would be for example, fan lighting items. So different brands, as it were, was a value to us rather than a burden to us. So once we have the products, we then had to look at channels. So where can we sell these products? So our key concept was sell more to people and sell to more people. So channels was to sell to more people. So we looked at, of course, the distribution channel. Distribution channel could be lighting shops like us, and then we looked at where can we put some of these commercial lighting. So we looked at electrical and hardware stores all over Hong Kong and Macau, and also we then expanded into furniture stores, outdoor accessory stores and so on. And even some items, for example, when we distributed Philips, we had some kids lighting items, reading lamps and so on. And these were good for toy shops, for example, stationery shops, bookstores, for example. So we used our brands, or we used our products carefully and distributed them into specific channels. So also at the same time, we developed a project channel. So distribution would be distributing our products into these different shops, but projects would be more B2B and commercial projects. So we would be working with interior designers, architects, property developers, maintenance companies, and we would be not just selling products to these people, but providing a lighting solution and a consultancy service to these companies. So as it were, we were diversifying our channels and also putting our eggs into multiple baskets, as it were, and also safeguarding our future, because when we only have products, you're only competing on price, which is a difficult area to be in, because someday somehow someone will be cheaper than you, and then you'll be placed out of the market. But when you have a solution, which means you package your products with some service and some expertise, then it's hard to compare just model number by model number, price by price, apple to apple. So you were selling more of a solution and a packaged product. So our project channel ensured that we had this. So later on, once we have a product, once we have a channel, we then looked at, again, sustainability. We were distributing other people's brands. So these had a risk, because brands can come and go. Brands, relationships and cooperative contracts can come and go also. So we had to build up our own brand. So about 5 years ago, we started doing that. So we looked at renewing our image, rebuilding our brand, even asking designers to design our brand guideline and so on. And we started with, utilizing these brand images in our shops first, visual merchandising, etc. And then also we then looked at, even we didn't manufacture our products ourselves, we looked at how we could cooperate with our existing suppliers, but asking them to make OEM products, ODM products, etc. So later on we would have a full range. Now we would have a full range of simple lighting items under our own packaged and branded products. So later on we moved on to smart lighting products, and also nowadays under the pandemic we have some antivirus products also. So that's in a nutshell, in kind of 5 minutes, how our 10 years worth of journey kind of unfolded into 3 different steps, as it were.
Yeah, that sounds like a wonderful journey. So I would like to ask more about like the initial stage when your company is not really that famous. So how do you actually approach those large brands like Philips to collaborate with them and negotiate with them so that you can become their exclusive distributor?
Well, yeah, it was hard work also. Don't get me wrong, it wasn't an easy just knock on the door and can we be your distributor kind of thing. It took a long time to build up the trust and also the business relationship, because before we become their home lighting distributor, we were selling already their light bulbs, so their what they call the light source series of products, because they started selling light bulbs first, and then because of the LED era, they moved on to lighting fixtures. Because before lighting fixtures, the concept of lighting was a light shade and then a light bulb, but LED kind of put them two in one item. So Philips had to develop themselves also, had to redevelop themselves also, so they moved into lighting fixture business, not just focusing on light bulbs. So we were a good customer and also a retailer for them in terms of selling light bulbs, and we had we had quite a good amount of sales with them, and of course the business grew over a period of time, and then everything just was at the right place at the right time. So at the same time that they were moving from light source business into lighting fixture business, we were also doing the same. So it was a big clap and a handshake, basically.
Yeah, I think this is definitely not an easy task at all. So I also want to know more, like during the whole renovation process, what is the most difficult thing that you have encountered and how do you tackle them?
I guess the structure of the company and the people are always the most difficult to handle. But we were lucky because during my 10 years of let's put it this way. When I came back 10 years ago, I didn't really have to do much about the retail business. I didn't really have to lift it all up and restructure everything and change everything in over one night kind of thing. What I did basically was set up a whole arm of business and leaving the retail business intact. So we were quite lucky that the retail business was actually quite strong and stable also, that supported our new business. So as it were, when we built up this new business, of course, starting building the system, putting a team together, and then later on putting organization structure together, all of these, every day was a new challenge. It wasn't easy, and along the way you have ups and downs and struggle also. But I would say the main, I guess in any organization, the main struggle is always people. How you manage them, how you recruit them, how you maintain them, how you keep your best resources and so on. And also how you, for example, when we have some older generation salespeople, they were good at distribution, and also they had their own network with some of our long-lasting customers. But how you then mold them into or integrate them with new technology, with new ERP system, with new apps that you can check stock, instantly and so on. Those were the kind of things that were most difficult to handle, and to also to make them follow your journey. But of course, there are ways. So we always started from their point of view first. Of course, just like us, people don't like changes, especially with new technology. It takes time for people to learn. So we used our own. We gave them patience. We gave them care. We gave them a lot of training, of course. So at the end, it took time. For example, when we put in the ERP system 10 years ago, I think it took us almost up to 2.5 years for everything to go smooth. Everything was like running like clockwork, and all the existing people, like I said, the older generation were fully engaged in the process and in the system. So it's a lot of hard work, sweat and efforts, but it all pays back.